Namaskar, friends. I am Sanjay Mansukhani, and today we will be looking at another great episode of the secrets of law of attraction. We have a specific purpose, a specific vision of producing these videos and showing it to you. Now, with this knowledge, which is available in the Master Key system, you will be able to power your business dreams. It can be used by startups. It can be used by established business houses. The knowledge in this is very, very profound. The mission which we have undertaken here is to provide before you the manifestation technology, manifestation techniques, and secrets from the Master Key system, which was written by Charles Haanel in 1910 or so, from the Sankhya Darshan, which is the philosophy of evolution and the manifested world by Kapila Muni, and the Yoga Sutras given by Maharishi Patanjali, which are complete mind sciences of how to manifest powerful things in life. So, dear friends, let's go ahead. Every experience which we have in our life is actually a result of cause and effect. Whatever we see is the cause, and there is a effect which comes out of that cause. So in our case, we can say the cause are the thoughts which we have in our mind. And if we control them, then we can control their effects on the world outside. They can shape our life the way we want. Let's, so for instance, consider this head of mine as a container. And if I put fear inside this as a thought, then my outer world will have fear in it. If I put inside this head of mine thoughts of courage, thoughts of success, then I will find courage in my day-to-day workings outside. I will be successful in whatever we do. So therefore, friends, the only truth which is unshakable is that within us lies the complete power, absolute power to shape our life and our destiny. And we do that by simply putting in the right thoughts. Simple, isn't it? Another very important fact you must notice that there are actually no opposites. To give you an example, we have a North Pole and a South Pole. We have an inside and an outside. We have a seen and an unseen. But these are expressions. They merely help you to put extremes in contrast. So North Pole is the top end of our Earth. The South Pole is the southernmost end of our world. That's all. They're not opposites. Inside, see, I have a matka, a pot. So inside is the enclosure which covers the whole air inside. And outside is huge. The whole creation outside is outside. So they are not opposites. Similarly, seen and unseen. What we can see is just a very small part of what lies unseen. This whole universe is virtually infinite, and what we can see is finite. So we can see the limited. Therefore, the author here mentions that the opposites, which seem to be opposites, are actually not opposites. They're extremes in contrast. They're actually two different names given to one quantity. That is what the author has been saying in this. He says the two extremes are relative. They're not separate entities. They are relative entities. They are two parts of the aspect of the whole. They are different degrees of the same thing. One is an absence of the other. Let us say, for example, there is darkness. So darkness is the absence of light. Let us look at another extreme of goodness. Goodness is the absence of the badness, of the evil. So we can similarly easily see that there are two extremes. There are two parts of the same thing, and they are relative to each other. It's slightly difficult to understand concept, but I'm sure if you go through it once or twice more, you will be able to get it. Similarly, the author now looks at the mind and matter. He says we normally consider mind and matter to be two separate entities, but clearly we can see that there is only one principle which is operating, and that is the principle in the mind, principle of the mind. Mind is real, mind is eternal, and the matter always keeps on changing. So the example here could be of the Himalayas. The Himalayas are huge mountains, but there was once upon a time when these Himalayas were not there. And now the Himalayas are there. And there may be another time, sometime in the distant future, that the Himalayas again will not be there. So you have to understand this is not a world of opposites. This is a world of relativity, where everything is relative to each other. And at the same time, we also see there is continuous change happening. So first the author refers to cause and effect. Then he refers to opposites are not actually opposites. They are relatively shifted in reality. And third, he's talking about the change, continual change, which is happening in the universal mind. So you see, when the universal mind changes, the matter which gets formed also changes. So the author here says mind is the only principle, whereas matter keeps on changing as per the human being's mind evolving. So if the human being's mind is evolving, the outer world will evolve. But the mind by itself will remain the same. That is the mind at the deepmost level, at the innermost level. So the universal mind, which has universal presence and even infinite powers. So there at the very core, at the very essence of this reality, things are not changing. But at the very extreme end, the other end, that is where the matter lies, things are continuously changing. So here the author in this particular slide is talking about that continuous change in the world of matter. The universal mind now, once having put forward the theory that the world of matter outside is continuously changing, he now comes to universal mind. And he says it is actually static. It is actually, in a way, called unconscious by the modern day psychologists. Universal mind is the unconscious mind. This mind is deeper than the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is deeper than the conscious mind. So virtually there is no consciousness in the universal mind. It is static. It is non-moving. It is fixed. It is in a way frozen, you can say. It is an equilibrium. So when does that equilibrium break? When the conscious thought from the conscious mind going through the subconscious mind reaches the universal mind, then that thought, once it reaches there, it triggers motion, it triggers change, it triggers the creation. And that is how whatever we want to have in our life, we have to put it as a thought, implant it in our subconscious mind by visualization or by repetition or by argumentation or by any means which we want. And then that subconscious mind carries that thought to the universal mind, which is static, and creates change and motion there. This change in motion, this change triggers the formation of matter in the world outside as per our desire. So this is a very important thing to know and remember. We have to ensure that our thoughts are powerful and our thoughts are constructive and our thoughts are positive. Because if they are powerful, constructive, and positive, you will find everything in your world happy. You will find you have good health. You will find you have good business, and overall the quality of life is good. Whereas if you have the other end, that means non-constructive thoughts, it will manifest as worry, fear, nervousness, and lack. I heard a doctor say a few days back that 85% of the people who come to visit doctors with diseases have diseases which are psychosomatic, which are born in the mind, which come out of the mind into the body. So this slide is specifically telling you that how your thoughts impact your world, your health, your business, and your life. Think positive, think constructive, and think powerful. And again, we come to the law of cause and effect. Once you know that thoughts are the cause and the matter outside is the effect, then you can plan anything courageously and you can execute fearlessly. Because if you have placed the thought in the right way, the result is bound to come because there is the law of cause and effect. And this is one simple secret of this creation, which can help us to create any effect we want in the world outside. The principle of cause and effect can be used by you in your life. You can teach it to your family members. You can teach it to your colleagues in the office. Anybody who gets to understand that out there what is happening is the effect of what the cause which is there in the form of thought in us. If you know the simple relationship, we can think courageous thoughts and we can execute our plans fearlessly. Okay, now what does the thought do? Once if you have a thought in your mind and thought is the cause, what does that thought do? It is the cause of action. It creates action in the universal mind. The universal mind, which is static, listens to this thought and gets activated. And it comes outside in our world as an effect, as an outside effect. So, depending on the kind of thoughts we are producing, it triggers that kind of a reaction from the universal mind. It triggers that kind of a change, modification in the universal mind, and that modification of the universal mind automatically creates some modification in the world outside. Therefore, in order to have our goals realized, we need to have the right thoughts and place it in the right place. So, dear friends, we have seen in this video so far that thought is the vital force and thought is the energy which can give you startling results, which can give you surprising results, which can give you results which are completely under your control, big results completely under your control. We see that a number of brains come together to produce amazing results. They are mental powerhouses. They are the individuals who have used this power of thought to the fullest and who have put it into the universal to make it mind in motion. So he says, supposing you have a very powerful mind, and a group of such powerful minds come together, they form a team, and they try to create a solution to some problem of humanity. So they think about it, they create those thoughts, and they trigger changes, a reaction in the universal mind. So when they are able to do that, then the universal mind comes into motion, universal mind comes into action. And all that action which is getting caused in the universal mind can be seen as change in the matter in the world outside, as a new situation, as a new circumstance, as precisely what we wanted to achieve. It is really unbelievable. Yeah, friends. So you see, here we saw various aspects. One, the theory of cause and effect. Cause is the thought, effect is the result we get in the world outside. This is the golden formula of manifestation. Second, we saw that the cause, the thought, has to trigger the universal mind inside. The universal mind is sleeping. The universal mind is static. The universal mind is unconscious. But when you consciously bring in a thought, then this massive powerhouse awakens and there is change in the universal mind. This change in the universal mind results in development, creation, and manifestation of what we desire in the physical world outside. So that is what the author has been talking about. And in the meanwhile, he has told you everything is relative. There are actually no opposites out there. Lightness and darkness are not opposites. If there is no light, there will be darkness. If there is light, there will be a lit world. So similarly, for good and evil, if there is goodness, then there is no evil. When there is no goodness, there might be evil. So it is the absence of the one which leads to the presence of the other. They are not actually opposites. So, friends, I hope that this session has been a very interesting learning session, and I'm sure you will gain out of it and you will be able to manifest all that you want to manifest by following the golden principle, which I gave in the end of the talk. I thank you so much for being here and listening to me. God bless each one of you. And now see you in the next episode. Thank you. Realize your dreams in life and build businesses which are huge and massive and which serve society. Thank you, dear friends. Thank you once again.